Welcome to Ace Designs 179, the Ace in the car pack, and you're the kings and queens. Today, what if these guys is a Photoshop tutorial showing you how you can make your own fruity poster or wallpaper. It's going to be a really cool tutorial in the aspect that we'll be covering some techniques that I haven't done before in videos. So yeah, hopefully you do enjoy the video. If you do, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe if you already haven't. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So I'm going to go into Photoshop and make a new document. This is the size of the document. Just go to File, New, and do the width is 2250, and the height we are going to do is 3000. And you'll see that we get the same document. I've already have one, so I'm just going to close this one, and then we are going to use these images to make the preview that you saw at the beginning. So first of all, what you want to do is just go to your file, open, and grab the assets folder in the description below. It will be ready for you to download. So grab that one up and simply open up these images. Now when you open up these images, they're not PNGs, so you'll need to select and cut this out so it's just the strawberry, not with the white background. But what I've gone and done is I've gone and done that before in time, so when you have the assets folder you can just use it as a PNG. So drag the PNG onto your document, and it's actually like a really nice high resolution photo. That's why I made the size of the document really large. So we don't need to up or scale this one down. We actually do need to scale it a little bit down, just something like that. Not too large, not too small, and just something the way she would like it, as well as myself. I'm joking. Okay, yeah, so let's just position it something like that. Alright, so the next thing that I'm going to do is just rename this layer by double clicking on its name and just naming this strawberry. And if I have to leave to work because I'm cutting it close, I'll be freaking out. So I'm going to also duplicate this layer, strawberry, and there's going to be my strawberry copy layer. So I'm also going to bring down this kiwi fruit PNG. I've done the exact same for you guys. I've cut out the white background so you can just use it as, and put this kiwi image between the two strawberry layers, and we're going to name this kiwi fruit. We're going to right click on this layer and then go to create clipping mask, and when we create this clipping mask, you can see that it's just gone to the shape of the strawberry, which is a very neat little technique in Photoshop. I've covered it before, but why not cover it again? I'm going to just resize that one by pressing Ctrl T, holding Shift down, and then also hold Shift and rotate this one, something like that, so I get the seedlings in such a manner like that. Okay, I'm going to press Ctrl Shift Enter, and then press Ctrl 0 to zoom back in, and then bam, we have our kiwi fruit mask to that. And here, so like when I mess around with the opacity, you can see that we're getting this, and it looks like the kiwi fruit is inside the fruit. And we're going to be using the pen tool and some other techniques to really make this effect pop out. So I'm going to hide this kiwi strawberry copy for now. Go to my eraser tool, and on my eraser tool, I'm just going to do the hardness 100 with the size of the brush 500 pixels. So now what I'm going to do is I'll just drop down the opacity so I can see what I want to erase. I want to erase the kiwi fruit, everything around here. I could also use the pen tool, which is also another great tool. I might actually do that one. So just grab up your pen tool and just do some selections like this. And you can hear my computer in the background. It's got like quite high specs, so like it requires really like good air cooling, but I set the fan speeds on the like inside the computer way too high. So what that does is like I get really loud computer, but its performance is amazing because it has Xeon and everything. So yeah, I'm sorry about that, guys. I think I'll be changing around. I'll open up the chassis and just change around the fan settings and that. It might be getting really annoying in my videos, but I just never got around to it. So once you've made the selection around the leaves, just right click, do make selection. We're gonna do no feather radius, press OK, and just simply delete that off. So bam, we've got our leaves showing through, and the kiwi fruit is remain there. So the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to use the pen tool, but we're going to be using the freeform pen tool. So what this does is, I'm just going to demonstrate it really quick. With a normal pen tool, you click and you hold and you just use the anchors and you can like get your really nice smooth shapes like that, right? Now with the freeform pen tool, it's hand movement only. So you use your mouse and you can go around like this and connect, bam. And then you have like a path. So what this allows us to do, so when we're making cuts, we can like do a little bit, not perfect, you know, with the with like little squiggles, and then we go to make selection and we cut that selection off this strawberry copy layer. Hang on. We get like, you know, it looks like it's chopped up in that, and it's looked like it's been done by hand, and that's what we're really after for this type of effect. So yeah, we're going to be using the freeform pen tool, and yeah. So the first thing that I'm going to do with the freeform pen tool is just do what I've done before on the bottom. So I'm going to pick like a position off here. I think I accidentally deleted my kiwi fruit. Okay, so make sure your strawberry copy layer is selected, and we're just going to start off with the freeform pen tool. And make sure to add in some little bumps in that, so it actually look like it's been ripped off, because if we do it with the regular pen tool, it doesn't look like we ripped it off. It looks like, you know, it's too smooth in that, and it just doesn't really fit for the image. So that's something pretty good. I might actually go back into here and get a little bit more differences in between there. Right click and do make selection. And it's actually pretty easy to do, so as you can see, it doesn't require too much effort. And you get something pretty organic, you would say, with this tear. So we're going to go ahead, and now we have to shade this. So this has got a pretty tedious tutorial, so I might have to stop halfway through and finish it later on. But yeah, so we're going to make a new layer, and this is going to be called shadows. And we're going to press Ctrl A, press Ctrl C. That's going to select the word and just press enter. So we can copy that and rename it, because we're going to make a lot of shadow layers. Press B for your brush tool, and we're going to change the brush of this to like 200 pixels, right? And then go to the hardness and do like 80 pixels. So then we are going to press Command on the strawberry layer, and then we are just going to go into here and do something like that, and then use our eraser tool too. Bam, like that. Now I'm going to go to my overlay and just not do overlay. I think we'll just keep it on normal, but the opacity, just drop that baby down to a little bit. Okay, so then we'll just zoom out, back out, and hit Command again, but we're going to do the hardness this time to 0. So now, when we go for our brush, change the size of to like 500, change the hardness to like 29, and color that in, and then simply go do that again, but with 0 hardness and I don't know, 600. So what you can see now is we've made that fade in between the shades, and it is looking pretty good, if I must say myself. And take away that extra splash that we got. And now we got that shadow in there. So I'm going to darken up these shadows a little bit by just pressing Ctrl J, merge those two together, change the opacity down a little bit. Excuse me. Ah, God. So on the strawberry copy layer, we're going to make a new layer also, and we're going to press Ctrl Shift I. And that's going to invert the selection. So then in this inverted selection, when you do the shadows, you can see that it comes through. So we're going to do the hardness on this one to, I don't know, 70, 65. The size of the brush is going to be 100. And on this new layer, we just simply go around here on the edge, right? Makes that selection. and then go down to the opacity and just change that one to like, I don't know, something like that. Then go to your strawberry selector like that and erase the on this layer. So we're going to do that. And it looks like it's been ripped off there. Now this is a bit too strong, so it would just change the opacity, and then bam, it looks like it's come through there. Now we can press Ctrl L on the kiwi layer to brighten this up, something like that, and we can always work on the shadows later. So if we go to this shadow layer right here, right, and we know that there's black right there, so we can go to our pen tool. This is just one example. Go to the normal pen tool, make a selection like that around, go to make selection, and we're going to do the feather pixel on this one to, I don't know, 20, right? And then press delete on that shadow. So then it looks like it's been cut off with a vignette. And that's a technique that a lot of photo manipulation people use in Photoshop. And then you can duplicate the shadow again, and then change the opacity down a little bit, and you're getting something a lot stronger in that. And then once we go ahead and add in our elliptical marquee tool, like 30 pixels, right? Into a feather of 30 pixels, and just fill this one in with black, we get something really cool. Let's drag this one below. Opa. Make a new layer. I'm just going to demonstrate it. We're going to do a perfect little shadow later in the tutorial. What? No pixels selected. Edge is not visible. Are you... Just Control T and merge those together. And then move this one here, and then right click and then do, I think it's perspective. Yeah, and then go to your opacity and do it there. So once you add in the shadows and everything, it's like it really starts to work together. Obviously we're going to delete that, and we're going to do that later, more accurate. So yeah, now we need to do the tear. So to do the tear, it's not too hard. We're just going to go to our pen tool, and we're going to be using our freeform pen tool again, and just simply make a something like that, and go all the way back down into our thing. Now that was giantly screwed, so I'm just gonna go again. Like that, and we're just going to make a new layer. Right click, do make selection, and we don't want a feather on this one, by the way. And just fill this one in with white, right, or black, whatever, and then go to this layer. This is going to be our texture for this one. Put it there, right click, do create clipping mask, sorry, and then fill this one with white, I'm sorry, and then go to your opacity, drop this one down, merge those two together, and we're going to go to the blending options, and then we're going to do a slight inner glow. Let's do a slight reddish inner glow. So that just softens up the edges. Press right click, do rasterlize layer, press Ctrl U, and change the opacity, the color to this one to like a reddish. something like that. Now I'm going to right click, go to the blending options, do a stroke of color white, go to the size and change the opacity to something like that. So we get something like this, and it just really does something to the thing that is not seen often, you would say. And then we're going to go to the outer glow, to like reddish, right? No, it's not showing through, but that's fine. But yeah, so that's what you can do with that one. Now right click, go to rasterlize layer, control click this one. I'm gonna make a new layer above here. Go to your brush tool, make sure you've got black selected as your foreground color. Go to the side, hardness, I don't know, 25, and let's do the size of this one to 200, right? And I don't know, that's way too strong. Let's just go to 0 for now. Good old 0A. Okay, and just try to, you know, pick around on the bottoms right there. Right click and go to your opacity and just change this one down to that. Okay, I want to keep that layer, but I can't because I added that stroke on, so I'm just gonna rationalize that layer style. Just keep it, don't rationalize it, and then use the pen tool. Sorry guys, sorry for the confusion. I really do apologize. Bam, and then go to your opacity and just change this one down to there. Not as good as the first time we did it, but you know, it is what it is. And you can always try these on like different layer styles, so like hard light or something, and really mess around with something that you like. Just change this one to a little bit more orange. Something like that. Okay, great. And I also might make a new layer, right click, it's already clipping. And let's do the hardness on this one to 15. It is pissing down rain, but it's good because I like rain. Something like that. And change the opacity. So yeah, so it looks like it's coming off there and it's looking pretty cool. So towards the end of the tutorial, we're going to clean all these little bits up, but that's going to be like the gists of like the techniques that we're going to be using in the tutorials and that. So the next thing that we are going to do, now I'm just going to rename this to tier off, and then group this one on and tier off 2 1, because we're going to have 2 tier off 2s, and then no, we're going to have like 2 or 3, and then we're going to have, you know, some bands like here, like I don't know, 1 or 2, 3, yeah, 3 more here. So we're going to go back to here, do shadow copies, and just group these, do shadows. Okay, so we're going to make a new layer now, and we're going to go back to our freeform tool, and let's do a cut. So we want just use your guides if you need to, like they do help, to like kind of get an idea of where you want to stop and start, and how wide you want to make it. So I want to start off around here and end around roughly there, and then it's just going to be like there and there. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start this freeform. Oh god, the guides don't help because of the snaps to the freeform snaps to the guides. So just again going along with my brush, my mouse, and just trying to make it look like it's tiered, you know, with the hand movements. This is some Jedi Walker shit right here. And we are going to do something a little bit different with this tear, which you'll see very soon. Okay, so I made that tear right there. Okay, right click and do make selection, press OK, And we're going to go to our strawberry layer, press Control cut, and just press. I really wanted to make that like long, like more of a steep dip, but it can get hard, so yeah, I'm just gonna leave it like that. Paste it back on by pressing Control V, and I'm just going to tilt this like that, like I got tilted in League this morning. And let's do something like that. Alright, sweet. Now I'm going to just do it to like an edge like this, right? And it's going to be hard to see, so you can always go to your strawberry copy and lower the opacity, make this stand out. Press Control T, right click, do wrap, and then wrap this to that edge right there. So you can use these anchor points, right, to wrap it along that edge, and then go back to the strawberry copy and then go there. Right, we might go to our blending options and do a drop shadow. Now on this drop shadow, I want to kind of add a angle towards the shadow. So I'm going to do a distance, like a distance of 10, so we can see where the angle has been applied. And the angle is going to be, looks like it, like that. Well, let's do 115 as my angle, and drop my distance to 5 now since we can see clearly. And let's do my size. I know, not too large, not too big, not too small either. Let's do spread of 13, and the size is going to be, I don't know, 5 or something. Yeah, so like 21. 19 plus 1, 21. What a meme. Let's do something like that. Great. And then go to my just zoom in, right click, and you can rasterlize that style, because what we need to do is we need to grab our normal pen tool and go ahead and select through like that. Right click and do make selection and delete that drop shadow, so we get something like this. And I'll do the exact same along here. I have to go to work soon, fam. It's alright, it's not a long shift. Okay, so right click, do make selection, and then oops, delete that, and then we've got something like that. So it looks like the shadow's just been applied over there, which is perfect. That's what we want. So the next thing that we're going to do is to, I don't know, we could like do some inner glow stuff in there, which we actually, I think we might do, or you could simply do it by hand. But instead of me thinking about that, what I'm going to do is to do a tier like I did on this one. So to do that, we're just going to make a new layer also, and zoom into here, right? Go to your pen tool, go to freeform pen tool, and let's just go ahead and make a something like that, and bam. So it looks like it's coming back around. Right click, do, oh wait. Just go and connect those. Bam, and connect those. Okay, right click, do make selection, press that. Alright, and we're going to fill this one in with white again. Now, this one is going to be dropped all the way behind here. So the tiers always come down there. Bring back our texture, right click there, and then right click and do create clipping mask. So it's going to create a clipping mask like that. Now, what I might do is I might distort this a little bit by right clicking, go to my wrap tool, and just making this edge a little bit thicker, because you know all the girls like it thick. Okay, so we are going to what am I gonna do to make this lighter? I'm gonna change the opacity down just a little bit to like 79 or something, I reckon. Yeah, that's pretty chill, I feel. And then merge these two together, right click, just don't right click, just go to Control U, and then change the saturation more similar to this color here. And then I am also going to shadow this baby up a little bit. So I might go into my blending options, do an inner shadow. Do a 0 distance, do 0 as that. And what am I doing? There we go. So I'm feeling like those settings are pretty good for the overall setting. So 15 size 00, and then let's do opacity 69 just to, not 69, that's how fucked up I am in the head, 60. Okay, let's go to OK, and let's zoom in right here again, and we're gonna make a new layer, right click it and do create clipping mask, and then go to our brush tool, and the opacities, the size of this brush tool is gonna be, I don't know, 50. The hardness is going to be 15%, and we're going to paint with black. And just zoom in right there. Okay, and then go to the opacity and just change this one down, something like that. And there, we have a pretty cool shadow little loop in between there. And it's really coming in with that 3D depth of feel. So yeah. Now, I'm just going to group these two together and just name this tier of 2. And also, we are going to... I feel like I'm kind of obligated to merge these two together. I know what this layer is for. And just delete that. I feel like I'm kind of obligated to... there's going to be... Instead of naming this rip, I'm going to rip off. Okay. So, I feel like I need to press Control U and just change the saturation slightly, just so you can kind of tell like this one apart from the other one. So this tier kind of stands out a little bit. Yeah, that's not looking too bad. And once we like make a new layer, go to create clipping mask, and then go to a brush size, I don't know, 350, and the hardness is going to be 0, and we like color this in with the blacks. Go change our opacity. Those tiers that will be along all the strawberry will like stand out a lot more. And we're also going to remember, go into here and do all the shadows, little effects there. So yeah. We're going to do the shadow effects next. So to do that, I'm really tempted just to go to my blending options and then like do an inner glow. Oh no, an outer glow, sorry. Where is outer glow, baby? Outer glow. And so it comes along here and do it green. And just do the opacity, something like that. Something like, I want to drop up the size a little bit and lower the opacity now, and do a drop shadow also, and just work with those. Like that's what I'm really tempted to do, but what that's going to end up doing for us is just giving us like a little more problems, because it's going to make an outer glow all the way around here. But you know what, we can try it, keep it for now and see what happens like later down the road. Because that's going to save the time processing. Like that's going to save a lot of time. And when you're doing like pieces in graphics design, you always want to try to cut down time wherever you can, so you can spend more time in the key parts. So yeah, I'm feeling like that's alright now, especially when we go into shadow it, and we'll do some other things also to spice it up, especially with the color in that. So yeah, I might actually pause this one for now, and then come back later when I've... And with the power of video editing, I am back. So let's get straight back into this tutorial, literally without even a frame lag. And we are going to continue to make this poster, which is actually turning out really nice, I think. And yeah, hopefully you enjoyed also. So the second thing that, like I said before I left off, is we are going to cut out in between here, and I'm also going to cut out in between here, and we're going to have some other like slices like this off again. So to do that, we are going to do the same things, and I think I'm going to skip through here. I'm still going to talk as a tutorial aspect, but I am going to skip through this part and also the second top bit, because I've already shown you how I do that one and that one, so I don't think I will need to show you 2 times, and this will just make the tutorial not freakishly long. So yeah, go into my freeform pen tool and we are going to continue. Okay, so I've finished going away through and making all those stripes, and as you can see, it looks pretty good, but we still need to do the shading and everything on that to really make this thing pop, and we still have to add in some other different elements and everything first. So first of all, I'm going to do my shadowing on the strawberries. So I'm going to make a new layer, create a clipping mask along this, and just name this as shadows. Okay, there's no W before that. Okay, so we're going to press B for our brush tool, right? Like grade A understands says, right? And then we're going to do the size of the brush 550, right? Okay, so then just simply go around here and, you know, make the little shadowing right along that bit, and then I'm going to just change the opacity to something like these, and you can change it to like an overlay or something. I think overlay is pretty cool because like it kind of like tinges the thing instead of making a nice like the gray one, but you can really do whatever you really feel like, whatever you really dig in, right? And I think overlay is the best. This is without it, this is with it on, so yeah. So that's what you can do. And then, like, in terms of shading the thing. Okay, we still need to go here, make a new layer, and make this, create it as a clipping mask, and on this one, we are going to make it white. And we're just simply going to lighten up the little, leaves on the top, because who doesn't like really nice poppy leaves? The highlights are the funnest bit to do always, because like no matter how much you over highlight something, it just looks sick, because like, you know, light is just light. It just always makes everything look super sick. And then we are going to go to the opacity and just change this baby down or up. I actually like it 100, that's like damn perfect basically. We can also try this on overlay, or no, overlay is too stingy. Yeah, I'm feeling something like that. Okay, now I've basically done everything like that pretty the way that I like it. There's only one like little things that I need to do. Particles. So to do particles, what am I going to do? Well, I have a brush that's like a particle brush, right? And if I click here, you can see all these little particles. When I click with black or something, that's not a fucking clipping mask. What the shit is this? Why isn't my particle brush working? Oh baby, please. Why aren't you working for me? What the hell is this? Why isn't my brush working? I'm gonna press Ctrl S. My brushes aren't working. I got a new issue, baby. Ah, it's because I had a razor tool on, dude. Okay. Bloopers, and I'm not going to edit this one out because I'll just simply forget it to edit that. Okay, great. So yeah, you can see this particle stuff. Now we can actually use this to our advantage and do some really cool things. So pick something that you relatively like. Yeah, this one's pretty sick. I'm going to go to the size of this brush, right, and do, you know, 360. Okay, and we are just going to click here, do a couple of little splats and everything. Shazam, just drop this behind the strawberry. So yeah, I'm just going to do, you know, different brush always. This is just such a cool little thing that you can do. I think it's just awesome. So I'm just going to drop this one even below my tier. And this little particle little spray here, I'm going to do a couple of these ones, right? Okay. Just to give some background, you know? Okay, and then I'm going to go to like my shattered one and do something like that. Or I want to, this is the one. This is the baby. Yeah, that's looking dank. Pretty good. Okay, yeah, that's looking good. And then I'm also going to grab this one. This is just like abstract feels, you know, cuz. And then I'm just going to go grab this one a little bit larger. Okay, I need, yeah, this shadow should be pretty good. Okay, so that is looking pretty fancy, if I must say myself. I might do, you know, one little concentrated splotch here. I just need some fragments, some like extra little fragments over in the distance, right? And I'll make a new layer for these fragments, because I'm going to just erase some of these later. So now when I go to my eraser, just jump onto here, this one, and yeah, I'll just use this one. I'll use it on 100 hardness or so. So when I go ahead and erase some of these fragments, it's really like, I find doing some hard abstract shit pretty hard. I don't know why, just abstract doesn't really click in my head for some reason. Because like, I'm too nitpicky, so like when it comes to like abstract, like I think everything has to look perfect when it doesn't, it's just there for abstract. So yeah, I'm going to do something like those and merge that together and just simply burst this one up, right? Okay. So then what I'm going to do is drag, you know, I have some different textures of apples, so I'm going to get this one for an example. And just bring this one on. Merge these two layers together, so I have one, and bring this baby up, right up. Okay, right click, do create clipping mask, and they'll create the clipping mask on the little red. And then as you can see, we've got all these little red things popping all over the place. Right click, go to my blending options, and let's do drop shadows, but not so like things. So we're just going to do something very light, so it kind of looks like it's glitching out, you know, you feels. Let's do one. The size, this is like the tiniest drop shadow, but it actually makes a difference in everything. And what else are we going to do? We're going to do an outer glow, this time with red. And make that stuff glow a little bit. So then we have something like this happening, and I might rationalize this layer style and then also go back to my blending options, do a gradient overlay, right? But for this gradient overlay, we're just going to do black to transparent, so it's going to come up through there. And just like that. So perfect. So then what we've got is something really cool that I do think is working pretty well. And I might just change this opacity on this baby to like something like that. Okay. So we still need to add like a little shadow below here. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to name this particles. Okay. So we're going to do that shadow just like I did before. There's going to be a tier of 4 and just group that. Tier of 4. Great. We're going to do a shadow like I just did before last time when I was in the beginning of the tutorial. Get your elliptical marquee tool. Let's do the feather on this baby to 25. It's going to be basically trial and error. I really don't know. And I'm going to do something relative like that. Fill this one in. Press Ctrl D to deselect that. It's not large enough, the feather. Let's try 55. It's really important that you get this right, because if you don't, it's gonna look like it's not gonna look good, and this is where like it brings the piece all together. So it's really important. I'm close, but not there. Perfect. So let's do 32. And just fill this one in. Nope. Let's do 37. Yeah, that's not too bad, but we're going to do the second one on this separate layer and just change the opacity to something like that. Press Ctrl L and just bring up the you can't bring up the blacks. Maybe bring up the press. No, it's alright. Okay, we're just going to then drop the opacity on this baby down to like that. Okay, merge those two together, get something like this. I'm going to go to our perspective. Just drop it like that. And also change the size of it right down to something like that. I moved the anchor point, so that's why it does some weird chisel like that. And then I'm also going to bring down the opacity to something like that. It's a little bit more wide. You could do something really light or something really heavy. It just comes down to what you're kind of after. I think something like that is pretty good. I might do a skew. Oh, hang on. Perspective. Just go back up like that. Just a little bit. Okay, sweet. Okay. That is looking pretty good. Now I'm just going to change the opacity on this baby. Something more appropriate. I think 69 should be good. I mean, who doesn't like 69? Okay, so we have done that, and we are going to now do the text. So for the text, I'm going to be using Babass props, and let's just do black for now. And why don't we just name this, I don't know, add. I don't like it, Maybas. I don't like it. Code. I need code a bold. That is code a bold. Let's do let's do Arial actually. Because Arial is like a really simple font, but so good. Okay. Kiwi. And lol lucky. Also damn. I'm going to bring this in. Is that Finding Dory? Oh my god, Arkham! Okay, so we're going to move it something like that, right? Press Ctrl J, move this across. And do this strawberry. And go along here. Okay. And just bring the strawberry bit just there. Okay. Now with the kiwi and strawberry, just do something like that. Bring up the font face. And bam. Okay, so with this font, we're going to go to the blending options, do a color overlay, and we're going to just use our hue to get, you know, something like that. I think is pretty good. Maybe a little bit lighter. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, and with the strawberry one, we're just going to also pick a red. Okay, and I'm going to right click it, do rasterize layer style, and go for my brush tool. Only rasterize it once you know you've got the text perfectly the way you want it. And I'm going to right click, do create a clipping mask with a new layer on it. Make the new layer and make it a clipping mask. And we're just going to do some highlights on the text. I think that's like pretty good in terms of highlights. Okay, that's pretty good. I'm just going to move this one down to here. And I'm also going to move the best of both worlds a little bit down, just for the spacing a little bit. And that's basically it. Now, if you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit that like button and also subscribe if you haven't already. Go check out my other tutorials also. I have some pretty cool content out on my channel, so I'm sure that you'll be able to find 1 or 2 videos where you can learn from some new things from. And also, let me know what you thought of the video in the comment section below. I love to hear what you guys think of it, and also I love to interact with you guys, so yeah, that's why I encourage you to leave a comment below. Thank you so much. This has been a pleasure to record for you guys, and I'll be back with a new video very soon for you guys to watch. Peace.